Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, welcome. My name is Monica, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the 4.5 star ratings, or the books I've read in March. So I did my 5 stars on Wednesday. I wanted to go through my 4.5 stars. So they're basically 5 stars. They just didn't give me that 5 star. They're not going to be all-time favorites, but I really loved my time in those worlds. So let's start off with See It Through. I got the ALC, and this is by Julia Wolf. This is book 1 in, I think, our Kelly Ranch series. This one's brother's best friend, small town, contemporary, and it's Remy and Hannah's story. Hannah has ADHD and I feel seen. The ADHD rep in this is so fantastic. When she was talking about, he's like, what are you thinking about? And then she lists off all the stuff she's thinking about. I was like, oh yeah. So I have the same problem. If you notice that I stutter a little bit, it's because about 12, maybe 15 different things in my mind, including flying squirrels. No, not really flying squirrels. I'm looking up this way. It's because my cat's right there, and she's driving me crazy because she's sitting right there on the in my peripheral vision, which is distracting me from doing this, and that is ADHD. So that's a tangent, but that's how Hannah was written, and I love that. Like, I felt seen in this. The ADHD rep was perfection in this book. I think she either has ADHD or she knows someone who has ADHD. Anyhow, she's definitely all over the place and impulsive, but Remy loves her. Some people have said she's too much, but she's not too much for him, and I just love that. Remy, he comes back into town after his father's death. Hannah was best friends with his dad. His dad went through it after his wife died, and he basically stopped being a father. So there is definitely child neglect, child abandonment issues with Remy, and he didn't realize that his dad opened up to Hannah because Hannah, he taught her how to do his job. I think it was like, it had something to do with horses. I don't remember exactly what it was. His dad left her the business, but left the land and the house to both of them together. So he can't sell it, and because she won't sell it. And so it's forced proximity. She had to come to terms with the fact that her friend that she knew was different from the man that Remy knew. And I really liked it. And she had to get over her prejudice over Remy because she was upset that Remy never came when his father was dying, but she didn't know why, because she didn't ask why, and he didn't initially give her that information. And then when he gave her the information, she basically had to eat her words. And I really liked this book. I liked the dynamic. I loved the characters. I loved the character growth. I loved the romance. Everything about this just was warm and fuzzy, and I really enjoyed it. And I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. Another book that I gave 4.5 stars in March was Empire of Temptation. This is book 1 in Mia Finelli's newest Mafia romance. It finally came out on audiobook, and it was in Hoopla, so I was like, oh yes, please. And I really liked this one. This was Small Town Mafia. So Valentina, or Val, she owns her family's restaurant. Her father, she knows her father was part of the Mafia. People are trying to get to her because of to get to her father, and that's when Luca comes in. So he helps her update her restaurant, and they end up coming together, and it was a really good time. I really liked this one. I really liked Val as a character. She was very strong and very independent, and she didn't take anybody's crap. He was very much an anti-hero, and this is age gap, so just be aware of that if you don't like age gap, but there's definitely Mafia stuff on page. And I got this "but daddy, I love him" feeling, and I made a video all about it, and I'll link that video down below. I made that video because of this book. Anyway, she felt that way about Luca because her father did everything he could to get Val away from him because he knew how bad Luca was. So, but Luca, he really liked Val. So anyway, 4.5 stars. It was a fantastic time. I enjoyed it. I highly recommend this book if you're looking for a good Mafia romance. So another small town suspense that I picked up in March was All Folked Up by Penny Reed. This one I've been waiting for a very long time for because it's Isaac Sylvester. We met him in it was in, I want to say, Beard Science or something like that. He was in the Winston Brothers. He's Jen and Sylvester from Beer Science is her older brother. She always thought he just left and never said anything. What she didn't know was her father, who we learn was abusive. He basically gave Isaac his papers when he was like 17, 18 and told him to get out of his house. He was abusive to Isaac. And so Isaac ended up having to join the military, and he ends up being in law enforcement and goes undercover. We know that from the Winston brothers. He goes undercover in the biker gang to infiltrate the biker gang. This one, he's undercover at the strip club, the Pink Pony, and he reunites with Hannah Abbott. Hannah is a very awesome character. She's a very strong character. She's been taking care of her family since she was about 17. When she turned 18, she went to stripping because she could make more money than waiting tables and stuff. So people looked down on her. Anyway, he actually initially thought she was doing things that she wasn't doing, and he is very hard, very cold, and very self-contained because of how his father treated him and his sister. He treated Isaac worse than he treated Jen in the long run. Anyway, he goes undercover to infiltrate this guy's sex trafficking ring because he uses Hannah's phone to call his contacts, so he won't get caught, right? And so that whole thing goes down, and he ends up moonlighting as a bouncer at the Pink Pony, and she's always had a crush on him. And he slowly figures out that she's actually a very good person and that she's not who he originally thought she was. He falls for her hook, line, and sinker. This one, he's a virgin hero. I don't see many virgin heroes in a book, but this is a virgin hero. And he is so sweet to her. He is like, he can basically kill anybody. He's very hard on the outside, but he's a marshmallow inside for Hannah, and I absolutely loved it. It was such a good book. I enjoyed the character development and the character growth. I loved the romance. I loved the fact that we were back in Green Valley because I really honestly do like the Winston brothers. The Winston brothers is one of my favorite small town series of all time. I feel like this just was a great addition, and it answered questions that we didn't actually have before because we didn't know Isaac before. We only knew little bits and pieces of him. Like, we thought he was this badass playboy from who was joining a biker gang. There's a lot of things we did not know about him and a lot of questions that were answered in this book, and I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4.5 stars. I do recommend going through the Winston brothers and then going through her her mystery series. She has like 2 in a mystery series because you find out more about their father and stuff, and his progression from when we see him coming back as Twilight. That was his biker's name, which is kind of reminds me of the My Little Pony Twilight Sparkle. But anyway, we see his progression from that point all the way to here. It is well done, and I do recommend you getting into this whole world. And the next one that I read was Wicked Love by Willow Astor. This is book 4 in the Single Desk Playbook. This hasn't come out yet. I believe it comes out on the 10th, which is next week. So you guys absolutely should pick this one up. I loved it. It was fantastic. This one is Poppy and Bowie. Bowie is very closed off. He has a child. His daughter is Becca, and she has Down syndrome. Poppy has had a crush on him. He has like the longer hair, and he's a football player and stuff. And Bowie is overprotective over his daughter. His ex walked out on him and her, so he's closed off. He doesn't want a relationship. He doesn't want to do anything that would hurt Becca. So Poppy comes along, and she goes to their friend's wedding, and the room that was promised to her was given away. So he's like, okay, well, you can just room with Becca and I. But Becca was asleep by the time they got up there. There's no way that he could or she could fit on the couch in their hotel suite. So they ended up in bed together, and they have fun. And then he ghosts her literally right after because Becca wakes up, and he never comes back because he's like, what did I do? And so they go on, and he tries to be her friend, and then she finds out she's pregnant. And so he has to come to the fact that he's going to be a father again. And Becca's all on board with all this because she loves Poppy and she wanted it to be a big sister. That's the one thing she's always wanted, was to be a big sister. And so this one is a lower angst, and they started out as friends. He was a bit of an idiot because he was trying to protect himself and his daughter Becca because of what his ex did. There were some misadventures, so that's how I'm putting it. There were some misadventures with another woman drama that they were both, and this is why I really liked this book a lot. There was no miscommunication because they acted like adults. And they gave each other space when they needed space to process information. Like she gave him space to process that, yeah, he was going to be a father again. And then this misadventure thing that looked bad but wasn't bad. She's like, okay, I trust you. I understand. We're good. That's a sign of a really great writer who can put some angst in there while making sure that the characters act like decent, highly functioning adult humans. I really enjoyed this one, and the audiobook was fantastic. It's J.F. Harden and Samantha Britmore. They brought the emotions, they brought the spice. It was all great. I loved it, and I gave 4.5 stars. And I highly recommend this one. Another one that I would recommend, and this is more women's fiction than romance, but I really liked it. It's Promise Me Sunshine. This is an extremely slow burn romance, but it deals a lot with grief. And because Lenny lost her best friend. Lenny's best friend was more like her sister, and she was her person. She was the love of her life, right? So Miles knows how to deal with grief because of how he lost his cousin and his mother. And when they met, Lenny was spiraling, and he helped her slowly come back to life. It was a very sweet romance. It was very hard to read about the loss that they both had to deal with and how to deal with grief. She did it in such a way that had humor in it, but it also was very delicate with all the themes that she was writing about. I really think Cara Bastone is a very solid writer, and I need to read more from her, but I highly recommend this one, and I give 4.5 stars. And the last one I want to talk about is In Good Company by Kat Singleton. This is my first Kat Singleton book, okay? And this is book one in her in Pembroke Hills series. It's a brand new series. This has summer vibes all over it. She used to date his little brother, Oliver. Oliver dumped her for her best friend. Oliver was not a good person. He was very immature. Callahan, that's his name. He sees her again when she is a private chef. She's actually working at this very exclusive country club, and she works as a chef. And so he actually pays her double, and he puts his own chef on vacation so he can hire her to be his personal chef because he wants her. And so he basically finagles his way into hiring her. She likes him, but she's not completely in because of the stuff going on with her family. She knows she has to take over her family store because her dad is he's been having problems with his heart. And she knows she has to go home to Virginia at the end of the summer. So she's like, well, we can have an affair over the summer, but once the summer ends, it's over. And he falls in love with her, and he falls hard. She's very selfless in how she acts, but sometimes selfless can be kind of irritating. I didn't find her irritating, though. I found her believable because of the circumstances around why she has to go back. It made sense. I enjoyed the characters. Cal's such a great hero. He wanted her. He did everything he possibly could to get her. He spoiled her by helping her. Like, she wanted to make these cooking videos, but she could talk about cooking all day long and teach other people to cook in person, but when she gets in front of camera, she freezes. He buys her the equipment she needs, and he actually stars in the videos with her, and he's learning to cook like chicken parmesan with her just so she can make these. And I was like, that is so cute. I really liked him. He did the grand gesture, and she had to realize that she had to live for herself too, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars. The audiobook is fantastic. Connor Crayas outdid himself with narrating Cal. I mean, there's a line, but I'm probably gonna mess it up. It was, Lucy ruined every other person for him. Like, there was gonna be nobody else for him but Lucy. And honestly, there was not gonna be anybody else for Lucy except for Cal. And I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I highly recommend the audiobook. Erin Mallon narrated Lucy. She did such a great job. This is a fantastic audiobook. I highly recommend it. And I will definitely be picking up more Kat Singleton in the future. Anyway, so those are the 4.5 stars that I wanted to talk about. That's not all of them, because if it was, I'd be here all day. Anyway, let me know if you read or listened to any of these, or if you're going to, let me know. I would love to know all the things. And if you made this far in this video and want to let me know that you're here, please leave me a tree emoji, because the pollen is killing me. You don't know how many times I've had to edit out me rubbing my eye because it's just itching. And I'm stuffed up because the allergies are just, they're just a thing this year. Anyway, until next time, my friends, happy reading. Bye.